Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Friday, November 3rd. I'm Michael Taylor, and thanks for coming, and thanks for watching the program. We've got a packed show for you today, so let's get right to it. We got an opportunity for folks who are not interested in maybe having their timeshares anymore. There's a company that takes them off your hands and kind of gives you maybe a deal on that, so we're going to find out more about that. We've got the perennial Friday favorite, Sports Corner with Cole Young, and then later in the program, we're going to talk to the folks from Global Harmony Symphony Club, and they're going to be telling us about two concerts. They got one coming up in November and one coming up in December. Their traditional shows are coming up, so that should be fun. Another tradition is our Stay Informed. It's the time to fall back. Every year we do this, right? And every year we complain about springing forward and falling back, but it is daylight savings time again. And we are in daylight savings time for this weekend. So on Sunday, remember, those clocks are going to be back. You get that extra hours of sleep. This is my favorite. You get to fall back. The extra hour, I get to sleep in. I don't have to know what's going on. What I don't like is what you're going to see in sunrise and sunset on Sunday, which is going to be really, really early a.m., late, really afternoon, really, really early sunsets, which I don't like it when it gets dark at like 4 o'clock. But what are you going to do? Let's take a look at our weather. And we've got some wonderful temperatures out there for today. We're going to, really the last day of the hot kind of 80s. Then we're going to start this slow cool down as we go into next week. And we're going to have a little bit of a return to the marine layer as well. So that should be nice and cooling trend for next week. Let's take a look at that sunrise and sunset. These are going to be some of the last days of these, evenings where it sunsets around 6 o'clock, and we're going to go to 5 o'clock starting on Sunday. Ugh, no good. This is Mark Rabinowitz. He's caught one of these crafty little rabbits that we have here in the village, eating some of the flora and grass and out there. It's a cute one, though. If you'd like to send us your pictures, please do so. Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com. Put your name on there like Mark did, and of course where you took the picture, and we'll put it on. We've got one meeting to show you, so let's take a look at that. And when we come back, the folks from We Want Your Timeshare will be here. Stay with us.
The Salvation Army Orange County is committed to building hope in people's lives rather than just more shelters. The Center of Hope, a comprehensive homeless care solution, combines a 325-bed emergency shelter, 72 permanent supportive housing apartments, on-site medical, dental, vision, and mental health care, and an award-winning drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. Donate today to transform lives, create safer neighborhoods, and provide an opportunity to end chronic homelessness in Orange County.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The thoughtfully redesigned 2023 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 32 miles per gallon, a 260 horsepower turbocharged engine, advanced technology, and an extra-large touchscreen. The 2023 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
Irvine Subaru. Buy online, just come in to sign. Get 2 years complimentary maintenance included on all new Subarus.
Breast cancer takes patients down paths they never expected, and Memorial Care Comprehensive Breast Center at Saddleback can help navigate the way. We provide multidisciplinary breast care services for the early detection, diagnosis, and treatment of breast cancer using state-of-the-art technology in a personalized environment designed to meet the needs of each woman.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
And welcome back. So let's say you got into a timeshare and you loved it for many years, maybe had a couple of them, but now getting a little older, a little less mobile, we're not traveling as much, or whatever the circumstances may be, and it's time to say the end of the timeshare has come, right? So our next guest is here and joining us telling us about a little bit how they work with folks to we want your timeshare. I want to welcome Alexandra Olson to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, and we do actually want other people's timeshares.
So tell me the business model of this in general. How does it work for folks who, and who are the customers who come to you?
So we actually are a vacation rental company. We take over other people's timeshares, turn them into vacation rentals, follow all the tips and tricks and all the funny ways to book them years in advance, and really work it like a business to take advantage of those reservations in a way that the average timeshare owner just doesn't want to deal with.
Right, and that's one of the things I know a few people who have timeshares. And it's like, man, I had to book this in advance, and I couldn't get this weekend. My points didn't apply to this, or I tried to trade, and it's really a complicated process for an individual to just be able to use their timeshare sometimes, right?
Definitely. I like to always say, not all timeshares are bad, and sometimes it has more to do with, current circumstances. Mm-hmm. Many people relocate, so their timeshare isn't geographically, convenient anymore. Sometimes the companies have changed hands, and the way it works is no longer the same. And a lot of times people are just doing different kinds of travel, and so planning.
And they're not doing the big trips anymore.
Right, and planning years in advance to try to secure a week at a condo, is kind of a little unusual these days.
Yeah. Okay. So how does We Want Your Timeshare help folks who want to get out of the timeshare world?
Mm-hmm. So we actually take over title. So it's a really quick and different process with us than really any other company I'm aware of. Rather than trying to cancel your timeshare or market your timeshare for resale, what we do is offer a guaranteed solution where we open escrow, transfer title to us, we become the new owners, and the old timeshare owner never has to pay another maintenance fee again. They have proof from the resort, the county, and the title company that they never have any future obligation to it.
Okay, so they get out from under that annual or whatever the bills that come for all of those things, right? They're not doing, since they're not using it, they're not taking advantage of it anymore. It's just kind of off their hands.
Yes, I mean, I'm meeting people all the time. I travel the country to 55 plus communities, go to almost every Sun City, Trilogy, Heritage, Robeson community, so meet thousands of timeshare owners a year. And they often just want to eliminate the burden of this maintenance fee, and many times are been paying for 5-6 years, sometimes thousands of dollars, and still not going on vacation.
Okay.
So
That's no fun. So what's going on with the world of timeshares these days? Is it still just as robust as ever, or are people going in different directions with it?
The sales are still robust. The timeshare industry, still sells excess of $10 billion with a B dollars a year. That being said, though, when polled, there was a recent study that came out where 85% of timeshare owners no longer want it.
Okay.
Out of 10 million homes that own timeshares. So, there's kind of a crisis brewing where 8.5 million people are searching for ways to get rid of their timeshares. And, as we, encounter timeshare owners, it seems like it kind of comes down to a few factors, which you touched on. The availability, of course, is an issue. And actually, I'm going to be hosting a seminar in the area where I'll cover all about, the changes in the industry and why, there's been a lack of availability. But availability, the maintenance fees increasing. As property insurance goes up.
Yeah, everything's going up, right? So that reflects in the timeshares, I'm sure.
Yes. And so it's been a little bit larger increases that we're seeing now, as properties age. Half the timeshares in America are over 40 years old. So, we're seeing major increases in the maintenance fees, lack of availability. And then, the biggest issue probably facing timeshare owners now is that there's really kind of no resale market any longer. There are, thousands of timeshares for sale online, not moving for a penny. So
right. And I was going to ask you how your company's a little bit different in terms of you're not helping them market this, right? This is a different approach. It's kind of, like you said, kind of a unique approach, right?
Definitely. Most of the companies out there, are trying to either promote a timeshare for sale and charging up front to do so, which, I kind of go, well, you wouldn't pay a realtor their commission before they sell your house, so it's a little, uncomfortable to do that with a timeshare. Yeah, so we're not trying to sell it. We're not trying to get it canceled. There's a lot of attorneys out there that will pursue trying to establish a basis of fraud on the original transaction.
Okay.
We don't do that either. We're focused entirely on building our own inventory pool for our vacation rentals and for our travel club.
Okay. Is there, just from getting out from under it, is there any benefit, like you mentioned the travel club, are the former owners of these timeshares also eligible for anything else within the program?
Well, yeah, actually, we have a full-service travel agency and travel club, and we market that to timeshare owners and non-timeshare owners. But what I found, over the years, the last 6 years of helping timeshare owners get rid of their timeshare, is that most of the time they were still traveling and wanted to just do different types of travel.
Right. I don't want to, like that timeshare I have in Hawaii or whatever. It's like I know Hawaii's great, but it can get a little old. I want to go somewhere else.
Right, and sometimes it's just getting into like guided tours and cruising, and maybe really more random hotel stays and stuff. So we have our own travel club called Club Travello, and so what happens is when we take over someone's timeshare, we give them back a membership to our travel club so that they still have a tool for travel, but it's just pay as you go with no annual fees or obligation to it.
Almost feels more like a hotel reservation almost, or an Airbnb kind of thing, right?
Well, actually, we have a software, which I went and found this software because I had thousands of timeshares and I needed to manage all this inventory. That's a lot of reservations to keep track of. And so I went kind of shopping for travel software, and in the process found that I was really shocked to find out that most of these travel platforms like Expedia, Travelocity, all these big household name travel sites actually have a lot of commission that they're adding. And when we got into having this software that we could plug all our inventory in so it would go out to the wide world, we also gained access to agency rates.
Oh,
and
okay.
so when someone gets rid of a timeshare through us, they get a membership to Club Travello, which lets them log in online or call us, and they're able to book anything they could find on any of the major travel sites, but at 20, 30, 40% less.
Okay, we got some props here. What are we doing here?
Well, yeah, if you're interested in hearing more about us and finding out about our seminar, we're actually featured. There's an article in the Sorbet magazine in the November issue. It looks like we are on page 16 of Sorbet, so I know that goes to every home. Yeah, and it's just kind of talking about the things that people should watch out for. There are a lot of scams in this industry, so we want to make sure that if you're not able to attend our seminar, at least check out this article so that you can make sure that you are aware of the things to watch out for. But we are having an event November 14th at the Sonesta Select at 10 a.m. So there's information about how to RSVP right there in the Sorbet.
Terrific. And if people want to get more information about you guys, what can they, website, phone number, and that kind of fun stuff?
Yeah, so they can actually go right to our website, wewantyourtimeshare.com.
There you go.
They can call at 602-900-9515 if they want to RSVP for our event on the 14th, or check us out in the Sorbet and you'll read all about it.
Okay, well, Alexandra Olson from We Want Your Timeshare, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Sounds like a great opportunity for some folks who are looking to change things up a little bit.
Yes, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, let's take a quick check at the Sports Corner with Cole Young.
Hello and welcome to the first November episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and for the first time in history, the Texas Rangers are World Series champions. Game 5 was an absolute battle with both Nathan Eovaldi of the Rangers and Zach Gallen of the Diamondbacks pitching lights out through the first 7 innings. Gallen allowed no hits for the Rangers until the 7th inning, and Eovaldi somehow fought his way out of a jam every single inning. Mitch Garver finally got the Rangers on the board with an RBI single in the 7th, and Marcus Semien put the game away with a 2-run homer in the 9th. The Rangers finished the greatest postseason in their history with an unprecedented 11-0 record on the road, including the title-clinching Game 5 Wednesday night. After 2 straight seasons with 100-plus losses in 2022, the Rangers convinced 3-time champion Bruce Bochy out of retirement to be their manager and spent about $500 million signing Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. It is very apparent that that was money well spent. Seager won his second World Series MVP, Semien was incredible all postseason, and Bochy became the 6th manager with 4 or more World Series titles. Congratulations to the Rangers on winning their first championship in the 63-year history of their franchise. Outside of baseball, the excitement around the NFL has ramped up with the trade deadline earlier this week. Arguably, the biggest name that was dealt was edge rusher Chase Young. The Washington Commanders traded the defensive end to the San Francisco 49ers in return for a conditional 3rd-round draft pick. After being drafted 2nd overall out of Ohio State, Young had 14 sacks, 90 tackles, and 6 forced fumbles with 3 recoveries in 34 games over his 4 seasons with Washington. This year, he had 5 sacks in 7 games after he missed the opener with a neck injury. Young boosts an already stacked defense on the 49ers, loaded with talent like Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. Not only did Washington deal out Young, but they also traded their other defensive end, Montez Sweat, to the Bears in exchange for a 2024 second-round pick. Sweat has 6.5 sacks this season, and the Bears as a team only have 10.5. One of the most unfortunate stories of the NFL this past week was Kirk Cousins. The veteran quarterback was in the process of turning around a struggling Vikings offense, taking down the 49ers last week and then the rival Packers this week. After the win, it was announced Cousins would miss the remainder of the season with a torn Achilles. It's a very large blow to a team that had Super Bowl hopes at the beginning of this season. The Vikings then acquired quarterback Josh Dobbs from the Arizona Cardinals hours before the NFL's trade deadline Tuesday afternoon, giving them a glimmer of hope as they attempt to navigate the remainder of the season without Cousins. The Cleveland Browns announced they traded receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones to the Detroit Lions for a 2025 6th-round pick. The New York Giants traded defensive lineman Leonard Williams to the Seattle Seahawks for a 2024 2nd-round pick and a 2025 5th-round pick. And the Green Bay Packers traded cornerback Rasul Douglas and a 2024 5th-round pick to the Buffalo Bills for a 2024 3rd-round pick. The Bills also signed veteran free agent running back and Super Bowl champion Leonard Fournette. I couldn't talk about the NFL without mentioning one of the biggest upsets in recent NFL history from this past week. The Denver Broncos have officially broken the streak and have finally defeated the Kansas City Chiefs for the first time since Week 2 of the 2015 season. The Chiefs had beaten the Broncos 16 straight times until this last week, when Denver forced 5 turnovers and did not allow a single Chiefs touchdown. The Broncos enter their bye week on a high note, while the Chiefs prepare for their matchup with the high-powered Dolphins in Germany this week. More news out of the AFC West. The Raiders have officially fired head coach Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator Mick Lombardi, and general manager Dave Ziegler. This massive house-cleaning move comes after the Raiders' embarrassing loss to the Lions on Monday night. The Raiders went a combined 9-16 without a playoff appearance under McDaniels and Ziegler, as McDaniels finished his Raiders career with the 3rd worst record of any Raiders coach with at least 25 games. On to my picks. I finally had a bounce-back week going 4-0 and bringing me to 19-13 on the season. For this week, I'm going with the Saints over the Bears, the Bucs to beat the Texans, the Rams to bounce back against the Packers, and this might be the first time I've ever picked the Browns, but the Browns to beat the Cardinals. The NBA is fully underway, as is the NHL, and the Ducks and Kings are off to a solid start, as are the Lakers and Clippers. So hopefully all SoCal teams across all sports will have solid seasons. As always, there are tons and tons of sports to watch this weekend, so be sure to check out as much as you possibly can. Enjoy another beautiful fall weekend and come right back next Friday for more news and updates. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Cole Young. I'll see you next time.
Well, the Global Harmony Business Club is back in business. COVID can't keep these folks down. We're all back, and they got some concerts coming up. I want to welcome back to the program, of course, Valerie Geller, who's the musical director for that, and full-time conductor, I guess, as well. And I also want to welcome Shelby Wong, who's a guest pianist and a wonderful performer as well. We're going to learn all about the shows that are coming up and a little bit more about you as well as we go into. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So tell us about, you got 2 big shows coming up in November and December. Let's kind of jump right into those and what people can look forward to, and then we'll get into some other details.
Wonderful. Well, mark your calendars for November the 13th, Monday night at 7 p.m., and also December the 4th at 7 p.m. And all of our concerts are presented free to the public, lots of free, convenient parking. On November the 13th coming up, that is our Fall Classics concert, and we will be featuring in addition to this beautiful piano soloist, the world premiere of a new American symphony that was commissioned by our past president, Rita Holcomb. And the composer is Kim Richmond, a very talented musician. He's an instrumentalist, he's a saxophone and wind player, but he's also extremely talented composer. And he has written his Symphony No. 2 for Rita.
Okay.
Which we are going to premiere that evening. And then the second half of our program, it's an all-American concert. We will be featuring Shelby, who will be our guest soloist for the Florence Price Piano Concerto in one movement, 3 distinct parts. It's kind of funny when you're a musician playing something in one movement, but there's 3 distinct sections.
Okay.
And Florence Price is really an amazing American composer because she is the first African-American woman whose work had been performed in the United States.
Okay.
A very significant work. Both of these works are very, very important.
Sounds terrific. We'll get to the December concert in a second, but I don't want to leave Shelby out of this conversation. Shelby, you have been, we'll say prodigy, we'll say it. I know you're too embarrassed to hear that, but you've been a bit of a prodigy. You've been performing since you were just a child, right? 4 years old?
Yes, that's right. I started piano at 4, and I play the violin as well, which I started at 7. But that's how I got to know Miss Valerie originally, was that she invited me to join the orchestra when I was very young, and I've been playing in it for a very long time now, and it's just been
it's also part of the
wonderful.
family business, right? Both your parents are in the symphony
yes,
too, right?
that's true too. my dad plays the violin, and my mom plays the cello, so we're all there at rehearsals often.
And you are kind of an achieved. You're at USC now. You're a graduate, and you're teaching as well.
Yes, that's right. I'm in my second year of my doctoral program at USC. I'm also a teaching assistant there, so I get to interact with some of the group piano students as private as well. So.
And do you have aspirations to tour the world, the country, and perform, or where do you want to take all of this?
Well, that would be wonderful. So I'm sure that performance opportunities are always something that are really special to me. But I also enjoy trying to enrich the minds of my students and reaching out to the community through teaching and pedagogical pursuits. So both of those interests are for me at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds pretty amazing. Maybe Valerie, I don't know why you let her in the group. That's amazing. An amazing background, amazing story. Valerie, tell us a little bit about the December concert that we have coming up.
We are reinstating our Orange County Messiah Sing and Play Along. This is going to be our 13th annual event. We had a 3-year hiatus because of COVID, unfortunately, but we're so excited to be coming back. This is a wonderful holiday community tradition, and everyone looks forward to it. The entire audience is invited to sing along with the Messiah. We have guests coming from choral groups all over the Southland, and then we also have some wonderful invited guest soloists. And what's very, very unusual about this sing-along is that it is also a play-along. And so it's very difficult for musicians who would love an opportunity to play this wonderful holiday oratorio. And so they are invited to, just blow the dust off your instruments, come in, sit down, and play along with us. For the orchestra, we do ask that they do reserve a seat, and we're very, very easy to find. Global Harmony Symphony has its own website and our contact information. It's basically globalharmonysymphony.com.
Easy enough.
And I'm easy. And email is contact@Global Harmony Symphony.
Okay, so we got some great shows coming up. So Shelby, what goes into preparing for a concert performance like we have coming up here in November?
Oh, good question. So there have been a number of rehearsals going on. The orchestra's been working very hard to prepare. We have a lovely guest conductor as well, Apostolia, who's been leading the orchestra every Monday night. And then as we get closer to the performance, it's just polishing up our parts, making sure everything flows together, and getting in the spirit, I suppose, for performing.
As a pianist, as someone who's kind of an artist, really, and you'll sit down and I'll say like a Harry Connick Jr. might interpret a piano piece differently than you would, and I'm not saying, but they're different, right? So what is your take? What do you try to bring to a piece that maybe it shows a little bit about who you are?
Oh, well, I really want to assess the background of the piece and think about, for example, Florence Price, when she was composing the piece, what she might have had in mind for it, and taking in mind her own spirit as a composer, and all of the, I guess, background of the time, and then trying to make that my own interpretation of the piece as well. So as long as it resonates with me, and I think it resonate with the audience as well, then that's what I focus for.
Okay. And as the music director, do you take into account, like, okay, how are we going to put this show together that really reflects the mood of the artist and maybe the right performer to interpret that piano piece or whatever that might be?
Absolutely. It takes a lot of thought and preparation in advance. And for our symphony, since this is a world premiere, we've been so fortunate to have the composer joining us by our side. Mm-hmm. It is a very large work and requires a much expanded orchestra. And so we are very fortunate. We have students joining us from Saddleback College for this performance, and many other guest musicians who are driving in from the San Fernando Valley, and people who are quite excited about presenting this new work. We always welcome new musicians to the Global Harmony Symphony, and the president of the Global Harmony Symphony, of course, is a resident of Laguna Woods, John Stevens, and he's a cellist in the orchestra, many other musicians in the orchestra, and we really hope and try to encourage people in the community to join us to make music. It's such a wonderful opportunity and an outlet. Many of our players are seniors who have taken up their instruments for the first time as retirement projects. And they're always a little hesitant to join in, but we try to encourage them. Just the best way to learn is just to dive into the deep end. And
jump in and go.
Absolutely. They won't find a warmer or more accepting group of people to make music with.
Okay, so we got the November and the December. Recap them real quick for us before we go.
Oh, yes. Monday, November the 13th, 7 p.m., free admission, free parking, the Fall Classics featuring our guest conductor, Apostolia Nicolai, who's a wonderful conductor. She is also on faculty at Cal State Long Beach and assistant conductor of the Long Beach Symphony, of which I am also a member, and our beautiful soloist, Shelby Wong, on December the 4th, 7 p.m. at Geneva Presbyterian Church right here in Laguna Woods. We will have our 13th annual Orange County Sing-Along and Play-Along Messiah. Again, free admission, free parking, and encourage everyone to come out and please support your orchestra.
There we go. Donations are welcome, I'm sure. All right. Well, thank you both for joining us. We love having you guys on the show. Love the fact that you guys are back doing the Messiah show as well. Global Harmony Symphony Club. Thank you very much, guys. I think we're going to close it up from here today, guys. So let's take a quick look at the movie before we go. And it is going to be Paths to Glory, Kirk Douglas, 1957 one. And that's brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. That's going to be subtitles at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. Real quick check of weather. It's going to be a warm one today, but we are going to have great cooling as we head into the weekend. So enjoy the weather, enjoy much cooler temperatures, and remember to fall back. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of This Day. I'm Michael Taylor. For everyone here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.
Time to play by your own rules. It's out with the old way of getting older, and in with the new age of celebrating your age. At Alignment Health, senior health care is all we do. Our Medicare Advantage plans are leading the charge. so you can be the one in charge.
I love being in charge.
Because life should be a celebration, not a resignation. Welcome to a new era of aging. Alignment Health Plan.